Good evening, everyone. The Department of Strategy and Engagement is delighted to welcome you to Parent University this evening. My name is Maria Etherton, and I am the Family Engagement Coordinator for Richardson ISD and your host for Parent University. Our series, Getting Ready for College, Career, and Beyond, has a total of 5 sessions this month. If you have family, friends, or neighbors that could not join us this evening, I want to let you know that this session will be recorded and available for future viewing in the RISD Parent University video library that can be accessed on the risd.org website. This evening, RISD's Advanced Learning Services will tell us all about dual credit and university partnerships with Dallas College and UT Austin OnRamps. At this time, I would like to introduce Jeremy Williamson.
Thank you so much, Maria. I am super excited to get to present this information to all of you tonight. Dual credit and OnRamps hold a very special and dear spot in my heart as a near 10-year college professor and dual credit instructor. Getting the opportunity to provide early college access to our students is just such an amazing opportunity and privilege. I am lucky to get to work in the Advanced Learning Services Department under the leadership of Dr. Kristen Leeper, the Assistant Superintendent of Teaching and Learning, and Dr. Luke Hurst, the Executive Director of Advanced Learning. I also have the privilege of working beside two amazing directors, Kelsey Carter, the Director of Advanced Learning, and Kimberly Williams, Director of CCMR. And again, my name is Jeremy Williamson. I am the Director of Student Advancement, and my role covers pretty much anything college related, AP, dual credit, OnRamps, and a lot of the collegiate testing. Now, when I think about dual credit and OnRamps, it automatically makes me think of Richardson's North Star goal. Every student, teacher, and leader will meet or exceed their academic growth. Nothing speaks more to exceeding academic growth than launching from high school to college while you are still in high school. You are growing above and beyond where you currently are to the future while you're still in school. And go a lot of this based on our graduate profile. So our graduate profile is made up of a lot of different aspects, but it ties directly into dual credit and on-ramps specifically. Dual credit on-ramps directly support the student profile by helping develop critical thinking skills that are at a college level. And our students learn how to communicate both written and orally with their college coursework and how to communicate with their professors. Plus, the workload for these courses is a little bit heavier than normal, so students start to develop a emotional intelligence and self-management that helps them to navigate these years. Plus, financial literacy. College, as we all know, can be extremely expensive. Dual credit and on-ramps is a great way for students to see how they can save money for the future. Also, no matter the pathway, all of these programs are intentionally aligned to the profile so that every student needs to prepare for college, career, and life. Now, for our session tonight, we're going to be specifically covering dual credit and honors. Now, unless you've been in these programs, it might seem a little weird at first, and there's a lot of overlap, but a lot of differences between them. So let's just start with what are. So dual credit courses, they are courses that students get to take while in RSD that count for both high school credit and college credit with Dallas College. It is a single course that gives credit for 2 places at once. And for these, kids after successful completion will have a high school transcript and a college transcript with Dallas College that can transfer anywhere that accepts Dallas College to put it. And we have both comprehensive and P-Tech pathways. And comprehensive, those are just our regular courses such as history, science, math. And our P-Tech pathways, those are the career aligned ones such as healthcare and business. Now, for OnRamps, that is a partner with UT Austin. Those are technically dual enrollment classes. So dual enrollment means that a student is sitting in a single class, but they're enrolled in two separate locations and see two separate grades. And then these are courses provided by UT Austin, and they're designed by their professors for collegiate level material. And students can earn a high school grade that goes on their high school transcript and a completely separate college grade that goes on a UT transcript if students choose to accept it credit, which is an awesome benefit for our students. Now, both of these are college credit bearing courses, but how they operate are very, very different. Now, in this session, I'm only going to touch on a few of the major points as far as the differences go, but I did create a document outlining in more detail differences between AP, honors, and dual credit in a more comprehensive sense. So in the chat, you'll see that Kayla Williams has dropped a link to the AP, honors, and dual credit What's the Difference guide that I created for everyone to look at. So getting on with OnRamps, these classes are taught by both a UT professor and a high school professor. So the UT professor, they have designed an online curriculum that students get to navigate over the course of a full year, except for a few courses which are a single semester. And the college professor will evaluate the college coursework and assign a grade to it. But they also have a high school instructor who has been trained by OnRamps to help provide extra support and facilitate the course. So they are providing assignments within class to help students go along with the college side and supplement the skills. So the high school teacher has their own course assignments that students will receive a grade for, and the college has their own assignments that students receive a grade for. So they are two separate grades. Now, with those two separate grades comes an added benefit. If a student does an amazing job on the high school side, makes an A, that's awesome. But it's also possible for them to potentially fall behind or miss assignments, but things don't go super well on the college side. It's rare, but it can happen since they are two different sets of assignments. Well, if the college side doesn't go well, students have the option of declining the credit at the end of the course. And if they decline the credit, it never shows up on a transcript and they do not have to worry about it hurting their college GPA. No issues whatsoever. Also, if they decline credit, no worries. That will not affect their high school side either. Their high school grade is the only side that, or the only grade that shows up on their high school transcript and affects quality points. Now, if students do accept that credit, they have the option of transferring to outside universities if they're not planning on going to UT Austin. It is a true UT Austin transcript that any UT student would receive that can transfer anywhere that accepts UT Austin credit, which is in public universities within Texas, also private universities. There's a bit chance it'll go more accept the potentially Ivy League schools. And an extra benefit is it's open enrollment. Any student who wants to try out an advanced course can sign up for this. No issues whatsoever. Now, dual credit, on the other hand, is a bit different. This, again, is just a single course. It is a true college course that is either taught by a high school teacher who is college credentialed with Dallas College, or if the campus does not have a median who is credentialed with the college, it'll be taught by a Dallas College professor virtually. But it was just a single instructor. Now, if, let's say, a student does receive a Dallas College instructor who's teaching virtually, the high school will have a facilitator who's a teacher in class to help keep students on track. Now, with this being just a single course, students are receiving just a single grade. That means that whatever grade a student makes in the class must go on both their high school and college transcript. The students do not get the option of declining that credit. So benefit, students only have to do one set of work. They don't have to do work for both high school and college, but they cannot decline the credit. So if the student doesn't pass, their failing grade does stay on their transcript and could potentially negatively impact their college GPA. But that's something we don't really have to worry about too much because students do have the option of dropping within the semester. And if they don't drop and they don't pass the class, they can retake it in the future to help balance out that on the GPA. Now, as far as transferability goes, those credits are through Dallas College. They are a proper Dallas College student with a Dallas College transcript, and those credits can transfer anywhere that accepts Dallas College credit, which is all public universities in Texas. Also, a lot of out-of-state colleges and universities will accept this credit as well. So if you're worried about transferability, always check to see the transfer policy for whatever college or university your student wants to go to. You verify whether they accept Dallas College. Good chance that they will.
As far as enrollment goes, for the most part, it is open enrollment as long as prereqs have been met. But if a student has too many college hours and they haven't met a TSI requirement, they may be required to meet a TSI requirement before they're able to join a class, such as English 3 or college algebra. But most of the time, students don't run into that problem. Now, with these two having a lot of similarities and differences, they're both extremely beneficial. So, starting with dual credit, one of the biggest benefits is students can earn college credit immediately. They don't have to worry about doing extra work, and it starts as low at or as early as freshman year. They can take art appreciation as a freshman and start earning their college credit right when they start high school. Also, they're able to take these classes for free. There's several districts around us that charge students for taking dual credit classes. RSD, we pay for the classes for our students. So it's possible for some students to graduate with an associate's degree without ever having to spend a single penny. Other benefit is these are true proper college classes, whether they are taught by a high school instructor or virtually with a Dallas College professor. The material and work that they receive in that course is the same exact material that the students at the college receive. So these students are gaining college experience right from the beginning. As a college professor, I've had students show up to my class who have never taken dual credit or dual enrollment and don't know what to expect, and they don't perform well in the class. Students who've been pre-exposed to college material through dual credit, they perform way better in my personal experience as a professor. And if you look at the screen, these are just a few examples of the courses that we offer. We offer several different courses in social studies, such as US history and government. We offer multiple math courses starting as low as college algebra, going all the way through linear algebra. Science, we don't have as many dual credit science classes, but we do offer biology and earth science systems. For English, we have multiple levels, starting with English 3/4. It's the same course, which is English 1301 and 1302 at the college. And students who complete English 3 dual credit are able to go to a second level for world literature. And those are just for core areas. Doesn't even talk about the option for our CTE pathways, where students can earn associates in healthcare, business, or education. Now, for OnRamps, these courses are designed to give students an introduction to college level rigor because they are doing the same work requirements as a UT Austin student. But for most of the courses, they are a single college class spanned over a full year. So they are able to take a little bit more time than what dual credits allowed, experience the rigor, but at a pace that's a little bit more manageable sometimes. Now, these can start as early as 9th grade as well. Students who complete Algebra 1 in 8th grade are able to take OnRamps College Algebra or OnRamps Algebra 2 as early as freshmen. These courses, again, are completely free. So students are able to sign up for all of these at no charge. And again, these are a low risk, high reward type of class. Any student who is interested in dipping their toe into advanced academics or college level coursework, but they're not sure how it's going to go and they're scared of messing up their college GPA, OnRamps is an excellent option. They can try it out, and as long as they pass the high school side, they can meet their graduation requirement for the high school. And if the college side doesn't go well, they might not get college credit, but they at least got experience and knowledge with college level coursework. And you can see on the screen that I have several the classes that we offer for OnRamps. College Algebra, which is Algebra 2, Pre-Cal, Statistics. We have a lot of sciences for OnRamps. There are 2 levels of chemistry, 2 levels of physics, and biology. These are excellent options for completing science requirements for college. Now, if I haven't already enticed you enough for enrolling students into dual credit and OnRamps, let me go ahead and give you just one more kind of carrot to get you into my world. At the college level, students have to complete core classes, just like they do at high school. These are your Englishes, histories, math, science. All colleges and universities do have some type of core completion requirement. For the most part, it's 48 or 42 hours that students have to complete, but there's a little bit of a catch. Even though all colleges require core curriculum, what classes satisfy that might vary university to university. So say at Dallas College, college algebra can meet their requirement for math, but at a different university, students might have to take Calculus 1 to meet that requirement. But if a student is marked core complete at a college and transfers to a different college, they stay core complete. Their transcript is marked core complete and they are set and ready to go as long as they stay within the same state. At RSD, we offer all of the courses necessary for students to become core complete through Dallas College. So again, Kimberly Williams is going to drop a link in the chat for a guide on how to become core complete with Dallas College through RISD. Now, looking at that, you'll notice that for the document, there's a combination of both dual credit classes and OnRamps courses. So this should never be a matter of which one is better. Should I only do OnRamps? Should I only do dual credit? If you're wanting to be core complete, it's best to do a mixture of both. So we already have this ready for students and parents to look at. I've also shared that document and trained all of my counselors on it. So when it comes to registration time, they can use this as a guide to help advise students on becoming core complete. So both OnRamps and dual credit have a lot of great benefits, and they can help set your students up for success in the future. But I've only touched on the surface level of it. So at this point, I'm going to turn this over to Dallas College and one of my partners, Jordan Wayman, the Senior Manager Educational Partnership. She's going to walk you through the Dallas College dual credit program and a lot of the extra benefits that Dallas College provides our students. Jordan, you're up.
Thank you, Jeremy. So I'll go ahead, I guess, reintroduce myself. I work specifically with Berkner High School, like Highlands High School in Pierce. I have my colleague here today with me. If you want to hop on, introduce yourself, JJ.
Hi, yes, my name is Jaquise Rufin, but you guys can call me JJ. And my school is Richardson High School.
All right. So we're now ready to go to our success coaches. Are you guys ready to introduce yourselves?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. Hi, my name is Ashley Conder. I'm one of the dual credit success coaches with Dallas College, and the high schools that I serve are J.J. Pierce High School and Richardson High School.
Hi, everyone. My name is Dan Rodriguez, and I assist with Berkner High School and Lake Highlands High School. So I've been doing this for about, 5 years now. So I'm here if you need anything. Thank you.
Awesome. So we'll go ahead and get started. Let's see. All right. Awesome. So just starting giving you guys a brief overview of what educational partnerships is. That's the department that does dual credit. We have a ton of different high school partners, which include ISDs, charter, private, and we even work with homeschool families to offer dual credit to their students. We specifically work with the early college high school model, the PTech model, which are done through TEA, and then we offer comprehensive dual credit and concurrent credit, which comprehensive dual credit is where a student may potentially take a course and they will get both the high school credit and dual credit, the college credit for it. Whereas when you're taking concurrent only, the student will only get college credit, no high school credit. So with my Richardson ISD or Richardson High School parents, I get a lot of you guys taking music lessons. And so those classes will fall under that concurrent model, which you talk to your success coach to enroll in. Now, the purpose and benefits of dual credit, you earn college and high school credits, but you also save time and you save money. So it's a win-win for us. So we'll head to the next slide. Here's some more benefits. So it allows for an easier transition to a university because all of these courses, typically you guys follow what we call the Texas Common Course Numbering System. So any of the public colleges in the state of Texas will accept this credit. So you usually don't have a problem with transferring to any public universities in the state of Texas. When it comes to private and out of state, that's where sometimes you might fall into a little issue with transferability. But it's normally stuff like if you take Texas government, those classes might not transfer over well because they'll want you to take their state government. So typically we kind of steer students, if you know you're going to go out of state or you're going to go private, take your common courses, math, English, because those courses will transfer in easier, biology, stuff like that. You get a head start on those post-secondary core requirements, lowering the cost of college because these courses do not have a cost for you. RISD covers the books, so you don't have to cover books. So you're very good in that part. And then you have access to all of our facilities and our activities. Let's see. So what does dual credit look like for students? Students, they typically sign up for these college classes with their high school counselor/coordinator, and they'll receive tuition scholarships to cover the cost of the dual credit courses. So depending on these classes, they may or may not be offered at the high school, and they may or may not have a high school instructor, which sometimes we have the high school credential faculty, where we go through the process of credentialing them with our department chair. And sometimes they'll have a Dallas College faculty assigned where they'll be teaching it online.
Okay, and so the impact of dual credit on college career and success. So, students can receive college credit that is transferable to all Texas public colleges and universities. The credits may transfer to private and out-of-state institutions. There may be some credits that transfer if they're not core, as Jordan was saying, those state government classes. Uh, then students potentially can save thousands of dollars on tuition and decrease the amount of debt a student may accrue. Again, these classes are free, so it's a huge opportunity for our students. Courses are a permanent component of students' academic records. Course grades can impact students' GPAs for scholarships and other programs, and the performance could impact students' acceptance into four-year institutions. So just want to reiterate that if a student is not successful in the class, we want to see if we can try to have the student either repeat the course to see if they can get a better grade to help that GPA.
Okay, so how will your success coach help you? So Dan and I are the two success coaches for the Richardson ISD schools. So we are here to support your student, to support them throughout their college journey. Some of the specific things that we work with students on is understanding their academic path. So what is their program of study? So some students may be doing one of our PTech programs like health science, education, or business. So helping them understand what courses are falling under those programs. Their academic standing, so kind of to monitor their progress, making sure they're meeting the college GPA requirement. TSI requirements. So as Jeremy mentioned, some courses may require that to be TSI met, so we can discuss that with students. Their GPA, degree progress, and tracking. We also create customized success plans with our students. So each year, each semester, we meet with students to work on a success plan, which helps them to go over their goals and achievements, how they can achieve that, connecting them to resources, Dallas College services, and community support programs. The last thing is helping them to plan their transition beyond Dallas College. So once students are getting into their junior, senior year, we talk to them about if they're wanting to continue on with Dallas College or where they're wanting to transfer to. We do have a career center here as well with Dallas College that students in dual credit are able to access, and then guidance on paying for college.
Okay, awesome. So we have our student resource directory that is extremely important for our students to have access to. So all of the students have once they apply for Dallas College, get an ID number, all of our resources are now the students' resources. So when we put that into effect, it's all of our career and transfer services, our student care center, our counseling office. Anything Dallas College has is now your students. So the students can meet with us so that they can actually get more information about these resources.
So then we have the Learning Commons. And so our main goal for the Learning Commons is to support the academic side of the student and to be able to connect the student to other parts of Dallas College. So the Learning Commons, which is located on every campus, they do offer library, tutoring, testing, and computer labs. So again, if the student is struggling at any point in time during their class, they can always access our tutoring. We have online and in-person sessions. And then we do have a link here for the Learning Common hours, locations, and contact information.
So, what is accessibility services? A lot of students don't actually know, but Dallas College does provide accommodations for students with disabilities. So please, please, please make sure that your students talk to Richardson ISD, make sure it's on file. Richardson ISD normally files that accommodations with us. If you do not think it's been filed, your student can go onto our accessibility website and they can file it. It just needs to be filed at least 2 weeks before classes begin each semester. So next we have our Dallas College email. We want to make sure our students are utilizing this Dallas College email. That is the communication they'll do with their teachers. It's the communication they'll do with anyone in Dallas College. So we want to push out there that the students are utilizing it because they might miss an important email that comes in regarding their textbooks.
So if a student has a complaint, concern, or a grievance, Dallas College is committed to understanding and assisting the needs of all students, staff, faculty, and visitors. If the student has a concern, complaint, or grievance, they can file a form. If the student has a concern about a course, academic program, an assignment, a grade, they can share their concern by contacting their instructor. If the instructor is unable to address their concern, they would then ask for help from the chair of the department in which the course or the program is offered. The student can reach the department chair to file an academic complaint or grievance using the student complaint form. After the student has filed their grievance, please instruct them to email their student success coach to ensure they are informed.
So FERPA, this is one of the most important things. Once your student becomes a Dallas College student, we do consider them an adult. At least Dallas College does. So please make sure that if you are trying to gain access to any of your students' records, or if you have questions regarding anything, you'll need to make sure your student has elected you as a FERPA release designee. So they can do so in their Workday account. Go to Contact, click on Friends and Family. They'll put your information, and then that'll help you where we can then begin to speak with you on your student's behalf. But please note that this does not mean that professors will speak to you as well.
Dropping a
Dropping a
course.
course. Ooh, I'll let you take it, JJ.
Thanks, Jordan. So dropping a course, what you need to know. So students must meet with their counselor if they're considering dropping a course. Sometimes we have students that try to submit a drop form on their own. Those do not get processed because it has to go through the counselor. And then there are important drop dates, and we do have an academic calendar that's linked. It's very important to know the different dates and how it affects the students. So spring 2026, that's 16 weeks. So our first period is February 18th to March 3rd. And then this is just a list of all of our dates that we have for the academic calendar. If the student does drop the class before it starts, there is no effect on the student. If they drop the class before census date, they will not get a W on their transcript. And if they drop the class after census date, they will get a W, which means withdraw on their transcript.
Awesome. Thank you so much, JJ, Jordan, Ashley, and Dan. Very much appreciate y'all being on here to speak for Dallas College. At this point, I'm going to tag in Marisha Allen. She is the OnRamps ambassador and is here to give you all kinds of good information about OnRamps.
Good evening, everyone. I'm going to tell you a little bit about OnRamps and hopefully answer a few questions I saw in the chat. My name is Marisha Allen, and I am an OnRamps ambassador. And today I'm just going to speak to you a little bit about the program. And if you have more questions, you can drop them in the chat, and I'll definitely try to circle back to them once I kind of push through everything. Okay, we can go to the next slide. All right. So the mission of OnRamps, we begin every meeting with this, and the mission is to increase the number of students who access and engage in learning experiences aligned with the expectations of leading research universities. So as you can see, students are at the forefront of our mission. They're at the forefront of everything we do. Okay, we can go to the next slide. I'm going to spend a little bit more time on this slide, just kind of making sure that the model of this is clear. And then I saw a question in the chat that I wanted to address, and I feel like this will be the perfect slide to do so. So with OnRamps, OnRamps is the model of excuse me, there we go. So OnRamps allows students to experience the college course with the familiarity of their high school instructor. So they're like Jeremy said, there are two separate grades and there are basically two separate courses. The students have a high school course. Even though the teacher is the teacher of record, the material has been curated by UT Austin, and the teacher is the facilitator of that knowledge. So they are able to provide supports and implement different things to kind of make sure that students are grasping the material. And then they have an online college course where they submit their work, and that is graded by an online grader from UT Austin. So they have a college instructor and they have a high school instructor. Students receive two separate grades. They receive a high school grade provided to them by their high school instructor, so their high school instructor with Richardson, and then they have a college instructor that is provided or a grader from UT Austin that will grade their work. Okay, so they get two separate grades. They get a high school grade and a college grade. Their high school grade is for their Richardson ISD transcript. So it's for their high school transcript. And their college grade is for their college transcript. Okay, so their college, like I think Ms. Schneider asked how can a student get a grade on the college side, but not so on the high school side, because the high school grade is given to them by their college teacher. So their college teacher has the autonomy for their grade. Their college grade is graded by UT Austin. So they're two separate grades. Okay. And then at the end of our OnRamps grading period, the student does have the option to accept or decline that grade from UT Austin. Okay. Hopefully, Ms. Schneider, I was able to answer your question with that. Okay. All right, we can go to the next slide. So I want to talk about the courses. OnRamps offers a host of courses, and we heard about those earlier, and I'm going to drop a link in the chat, and there's a folder where you can see the course sheets for all of the classes that are offered by Richardson ISD. Okay, so the OnRamps courses cover the university core components. They're, like I said earlier, they're designed by UT Austin faculty. Students can earn a credit, and they are usually, some of our courses fit with our CTE programs. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So let's talk about some of the benefits, and I see the chat going crazy. I will come back and answer you guys' questions in a second. So UT Austin has a lot of benefits. OnRamps has a lot of benefits. There are no applications. We're kind of like church. We take you as you are. Luckily for Richardson ISD, there are no fees associated with our courses. There is very low risk because their college grade can be accepted or declined. So it will not, like, let's say if your student declines the credit, it will not show up on their college transcript at all. They'll only receive that high school grade that was given to them by the Richardson ISD teacher. Okay, and there are several built-in support systems from UT Austin, as well as accommodations that are provided. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So OnRamps does provide students with, there we go, an opportunity to become lifelong learners. We definitely build a lot of skills, strengths, and strategies, and as well as confidence. As a former OnRamps teacher, I saw some of my students who were a little bit reluctant at the beginning of the course and were like, I should probably drop this course. And I'm like, stick with it. So I will say there is a curve kind of after Christmas break, give it a little bit more time, and the coursework does pick up and the students start to kind of internalize the information a little bit better. So it does help them with practice their study habits and develop time management skills, as well as graduate from high school ready to meet college level learning expectations. Okay, can we go to the next slide? So OnRamps has increased the number of students. It's all about increasing college enrollment. So one of the greatest findings that we've recently learned is that OnRamp students enroll in college at higher rates compared to all Texas students. According to the most recent data, 61% of OnRamp students enrolled in a Texas college or university compared to 43% of all Texas students. So we are preparing students to see themselves successful at a four-year research institution. Okay. Let me go to the next slide, please. So I wanted to also spend some time on this slide speaking about college credit and transferability. So students do have the option to accept or decline that college grade upon completion. They will have a window. So that window typically lasts a week. They'll get an email on that Sunday letting them know that the credit decision window is open, and they'll have a week to either accept or decline that credit. So that gives them time to talk to their teacher, counselors, even their parents, and kind of think about, would accepting this grade be the best thing that is for me? So once students accept their credit, it does appear on an official UT Austin transcript. That can be our UT Austin transcript. UT Austin credits are transferable within the state of Texas, the Texas public college system, as well as beyond the state of Texas. So most of our courses transfer to many private and out-of-state institutions. In my position, I've never seen our credits not accepted except for at Ivy League schools. Okay. And another great thing about OnRamps is the cost saving. Luckily at Richardson ISD, you guys have a lot of course offerings. Y'all are killing the game. So you have so many different course options that will allow you to that will allow your students to take care of some of those first year and second year college classes, which will save you a lot of money. Last year, as you can see from our graphic, our classes typically cost between $0 to $149, but you will pay a whopping $0 because it is free. So that is saving you a lot of money on tuition. And then I saw some questions. Do I have time to address some questions, or do y'all want me to? Okay. And then this is our contact information should you choose to reach out. And there we have our contact. You can reach out to the partnerships at Zendesk or the UT Austin. For the partnerships, this is basically if you have a problem. The UT Austin contact is if you have a question that you need to be answered. And then, of course, we have all of our socials. So if you decline, if you decline the college credit for OnRamps, it will not impact your rank points. I think this is what you're asking, Ms. Schneider. It does not impact your rank points because the college grade is separate from the high school grade. So they're completely separate. One does not impact the other. Oh, am I touching stuff that y'all are going to talk about later? I can stop. Okay.
You were doing so fabulous. You are ahead of the game.
Okay, sorry.
So thank you so much for all the information for OnRamps. And we do have some time left, so I do want to give everyone a chance to ask some questions. And I know Dallas College and OnRamps are both happy to help out in answering these. I'll be honest, I wasn't able to pay attention to the chat because I'm easily distracted while talking. So I did see a few questions pop up that I want to address real quick, and I already had a couple that people ask often, and then I'll open it up for Dallas College and OnRamps to answer some questions as well. So one question I did see pop up in the chat I want to go ahead and address real quick. For Dallas College, students have an option or have the ability to take those classes during the fall and spring semester, but they can also take those classes over the summer as well. So over the summer, there are 2 semesters, one in June, one in July, and there's also a long summer semester as well. Students can sign up for those. The registration time period is generally in February. It's a short window, but that's because we have to get our rosters over to Dallas College pretty quick, and those classes fill up kind of fast. But they can take Dallas College courses over the summer. OnRamps, though, is not available over the summer. Those are only available during the regular school year. Also, I saw a question about how OnRamps courses are structured. For the most part, those classes are structured as a regular course with material offered through OnRamps, but the RSD instructor is there to help teach the material and facilitate the learning, but it varies course to course. 2 of our honors courses, I believe it's college algebra and pre-calculus, they're more project-based learning style, so it is a little more flipped, but our instructors should be teaching the material as it's presented. If there are any issues with that, we do have new teachers, so sometimes it's just teacher training and just getting used to courses. I know it took me a while to get used to one of the courses I taught before. So if you ever run into issues, let us know. We might just need to provide some extra training for teachers. Yeah, those are the questions I saw in the chat. For questions that I get all the time, how does OnRamps and dual credit affect GPA and UIL eligibility? Good news, for UIL eligibility, these courses do not factor in. So if a student isn't performing well at a current UIL checkmark, they are still eligible. And as far as GPA goes, both OnRamps and Dallas College provide the same quality point boost, which is 10 points. I did see a question about whether the OnRamps credit being declined on the college side affecting rank points, and it doesn't. It is purely whatever their high school grade is that affects their quality points, which goes towards their GPA. Another question that I've seen is if a student isn't doing well, is it possible for them to get out of the courses? And answer is yes. Dallas College, and I've addressed this one already with the drop dates. So for Dallas College, if a student drops before the census date, which is the 12th day of school, they are able to get out of the course without it ever showing up on their transcript. Now, if they choose to stay in past that time period, they can still get out of the class by the time the drop happens, which for the fall semester is usually in November, mid-November, and for the spring semester about mid-April. But if a student stays in past the official drop deadline, they have to stay in the course. They cannot drop for the semester. But I did say something kind of particular that I did not touch on a previous presentation. I do want to mention real quick. The Dallas College semester and RISD semester start and end at different times. The Dallas College semester generally starts 2 weeks after the RISD semester starts and usually ends about a week before the RISD semester ends. So their time periods are different, and sometimes RISD will be out for a break when Dallas College is not. Students have to adhere to the Dallas College schedule. So if our spring breaks don't match up, they have to go off the Dallas College schedule because that's what the professors are going off of. And as far as switching between the courses, it is not possible to drop OnRamps or an AP course and go into dual credit because those rosters are already locked. So we cannot add someone into that. And as far as going from dual credit to OnRamps, that's generally not a good idea because OnRamps courses do move fast, and dual credit classes and OnRamp classes, they're not aligned to where students can step out of one and walk into another and go into the same material. So generally, if a student needs to drop OnRamps or dual credit, they normally go into an on-level class. And as far as which option's best, it all depends on your student and their strengths and their interests for the future. So if a student knows that they are going to a out of Texas school, there's a good chance that the UT Austin credit might transfer a little bit better than the Dallas College credit, but you would need to check the college that your student's wanting to go to. And as far as rigor level goes between the two, is one harder than the other? We can't really speak to that because every Dallas College course is ran by different professors who have their own standards for the work. So we can't say one is definitely harder than the other, but they're both great options. And how much does it cost? Again, this is the biggest benefit. They are both free, absolutely free for our students and excellent to go with. Now, at this point, both Dallas College and OnRamps have answered these questions before, but I want to give another chance for them to give some highlights. So I'm going to turn this over to both Dallas College and OnRamps. So Jordan, if you want to go first, for which of these, or will these credits transfer to colleges?
Hi. Okay. So will these classes transfer to colleges? Yes, they do transfer to once again all Texas public colleges, universities. The transferability does get a little weird once you're going out of state and private, but normally that's because the student might take a class that's Texas government, Texas history, and those courses are specified for Dallas, or they're specified for the state of Texas. So that's where it'll become a little, the transferability might be a little off.
Okay, and Marisha, if you would like, or if you would like to answer for OnRamps.
Yes, I would. So I also dropped a link to the college credit decision guide, and because I saw a lot of parents had question about transferability, and on page 2 of that guide, there is a website that you can look on. It's called Transferology, and it says this is a nationwide tool with information of how courses transfer between institutions. But so I wanted to provide you all with that resource and to also clarify, yes, on-ramps courses are transferable between Texas public universities and most of the time beyond the state of Texas. It just depends on the college requirements. But our credits are usually pretty much accepted everywhere. But also I provided you with the guide to hopefully if you need to kind of check out specifically, because I know some people are like, well, specifically. So hopefully that will provide you with some level of specificity. And then also answer a couple of other questions that we may not have time to get to right now.
Awesome. Thank you. Absolutely. If your student's considering a college outside of the state of Texas, the easiest and best option is just to go check that college's transfer policy straight off the bat to see if they accept it. Awesome. And I did see a couple more questions pop up in the chat, but I'm going to do these last two before going back over to the chat. So again, this will be for Dallas College and OnRamps. And it's what's the workload in outside of time school commitment? So Marisha, if you will, and go first this time.
No problem, no problem. For the workload and outside of school time commitment, OnRamps is very fast paced. There will be homework. There will be some assignments that they will have to complete outside of the classroom, if that includes reading. It really depends on how the teacher or their instructor on the high school side structures the course. But as far as like the college material, there will be some parts of the course that they will have to complete outside of class. Typically, I would say maybe 3 to 4 hours per week. If I had to put like a timestamp on that, but that just gives them a little bit more time to study and then just make sure that they're keeping um, with the pace of the course.
Awesome. Thank you. Jordan, how about for dual credit?
I'm gonna let my success coaches take this one.
Okay. I would say about the same hours wise, about 3 to 4 hours per week per course. I would allot that for outside of school time commitment for those dual credit classes. Um, like we mentioned earlier, the students taking dual credit, a lot of times their classes there are going to meet during the week. So depending on the school, usually they have A or B day. So let's say on A day, they meet with their economics class in person with their facilitator who's monitoring them taking their course. So they can get some of their work done in class, but you do want to allow yourself enough time outside of school to do like work on your essays, if there are quizzes, things that can't be done in class. So I would say around the same, about 3 to 4 hours per week per class. But just know most of the classes they will meet during the week as well.
Awesome. Thank you. And everything they said is from the professor's side, absolutely true. I would always tell my students to expect to spend at least 1 to 3 hours per week based on just my course alone. So they're giving excellent information. All right, last question on the slide, and then we're going to pop over to the chat for some more. How does Dallas College and OnRamp support students with learning disabilities? So if someone on the Dallas College team would like to go first this time.
Yes, I can go. So we briefly talked about accessibility services. So we have our accessibility services through Dallas College that could assist the student with learning disabilities. We have a very wide range of accommodations for our students. So once we're able to get the student connected with an accessibilities case manager, they can help craft a plan to make sure that the student is successful in that class.
Awesome, thank you. And Marisha, how about OnRamps?
Yes. So with OnRamps, when the students sign up for their class, they do have the option to click on which accommodations they've been given so far, like within our current school district. But our instructors are also required to follow, of course, their plans or accommodations that they have on the high school side. And another good thing about OnRamps is that they will have multiple opportunities. Like, let's say if we miss an assignment, there is another assignment that will allow them to kind of catch up. And they may not receive as full credit, but they will still have the option to kind of catch up on the back end. So there are a lot of, and there are some makeup assignments. So the OnRamps does afford them a lot of different ways that if they get off track, if they get lost, there's ways for them to catch back up. And then there's also just different virtual conferences and support systems that are offered within their Canvas course on the college side, as well as supports from their high school teacher.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So those are all the questions on the slide, and I have been watching the chat and getting a couple more questions. So one I saw come up quite a bit was about the teaching modalities and differences between OnRamps and dual credit. So for this, I think this would be a pretty good question to turn over to OnRamps and dual credit on here. So, Marisha, would you mind talking about the different modalities for OnRamps?
Yes, so there are a couple of modalities and a couple of different ways the classes are structured. OnRamps does typically gear towards small group instruction. In the first half of the class, the teacher or facilitator or their RSD instructor will probably provide a lot more structure and support, whereas it's basically a gradual release model. The teacher is supposed to kind of give you a little bit more support at the beginning of the year, and the student will gradually rise to meet the expectations of the course. So when we're looking at modality, we'll look at there. I know that there's a flipped classroom model in most of the science classes because they do have a lot of video instruction and lab. They're kind of like lab pre-assignments. I forgot what they're called, but they're to prepare them for the labs. They have a lot of quizzes and math. For the rhetoric course, that course is taught in kind of like the writing cycle. For that course, they will have their first draft. They get a chance to revise. They write a letter of revision. So it really just depends on the class. A lot of the classes are structured different ways to kind of support the core elements or pillars of the class. Hopefully
Awesome.
that answered.
Yes, you did a great job
Just
on
because
that.
they're all structured a little bit different, it's kind of difficult to name all of them.
Yes. Would someone on the Dallas College side like to field this one? Or as a Dallas College instructor, I'm happy to take it as well.
I'll answer, I guess, a little bit of it. So, as Dallas College, we offer different modalities. Of course, we have online, in person, all these different types of ways that we can offer classes. However, with working with Richardson ISD, our classes are structured online. The Dallas College professor has the final decision on how they run their course. So the teacher will post their course syllabus where they'll kind of outline all of that information so students are aware of what the requirements for the course will be. But typically the courses for that we offer Richardson ISD at this moment have been majority online, except for when they're working with the high school credentialed faculty where they're housed at the high school campus. And so the students are able to work with them specifically at the high school campus. For the online courses, we also offer a facilitator that allows them to get to meet and the facilitator has access to the course as well, so they can kind of run the course and kind of keep the students on track and ensure they're staying on track, basically.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So I think we have time for just one more question. And I saw a question about moving from an on-level course into a college level course, depending on the space in the class. That one's a little bit tricky. It is possible at the very, very, very beginning of the semester, say like the first week, to go from an on-level course into on-ramps, because the on-ramps part is just getting started. The kids are still doing orientation, so they wouldn't be too far behind. Now for Dallas College, though, those rosters have to be sent in months ahead of time. And most of the time, those courses are full. So getting a student in from on level to Dallas College dual credit is a little tricky. If there is space in the course and it can fit into a student schedule and we can get the change made before the Dallas College semester starts, it can be possible. But for the most part, it's kind of hard to get a student from on level into Dallas College dual credit. Now, I did see one other question, and it dealt with TSI, and I'm going to use this as a shameless plug for my next session, which is going to be on Wednesday, where I talk about college readiness testing. We'll be going over everything testing-wise, dealing with PSAT, SAT, ACT, TSI, and I'll be doing that on Wednesday evening. So at this point, I would like to say thank you again to all of our guest speakers with Dallas College and OnRamps for all of your time. And that is it for this session.
Thank you.